Hello everybody, welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble, on the blogger site as an archive post thingy, and on Patreon for extra support. And any kind of updates I usually go about on Twitter X. Today we should have, Jedi Survivor, 4th episode. We started exploring the main hub, let's say. Some interesting mechanics, already recorded some of them to have on the backlog so I can publish on time. Had some interesting stuff. Let's see how that develops, but I didn't advance too much on the story, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. And tomorrow will be Mutant Year Zero Road to Eden. Yesterday and the day before I did some streaming. They are already on processing. One of them is finishing up uploading on YouTube. I don't know when I can do episode 29 VOD. I think no, 28 was the one that they had basically to be. I had to download the stream from YouTube and do the thingy. The last couple of streams, everything went okay, no big issues. So it will be 4K 60 on YouTube, and usually I can manage 1440p on Rumble. Regarding the channel news, this basically it's again scheduling with with live streams. That's what I want to say. It's always a little bit tricky. I might try to experiment a little bit, trying to stream during the day, and not during the night, which I usually do, to see how it goes. I don't know, but yeah, just keep your eyes on Twitter. When I go live, I always mention that I'm live on stream, and I stream both on YouTube and Rumble. Regarding news, got some stuff here more with kind of the accelerator stuff there, and supposedly Analyst forum expects AMD to launch Instinct MI350. We still didn't see the 300 ones. The naming scheme is a little bit confusing now. It's got a little bit confusing because there was the story about the MI350 is a bit more confusing. There were early reports claiming that similar name part, the 3050X, was already been cancelled. However, the name is not exactly the same. Because I think there is some rumors here that some of the 350X might be in 3 nanometers. Again, from NVIDIA part, the GBs and the Bs and the such, they are being manufactured at this moment in time in 4 nanometers, and this one will be 4 nanometers. Again, the fact that it has a smaller nanometer in terms of manufacturing doesn't mean it performs better by itself. Again, it's all the technology involved there. But yeah, supposedly these ones should be competitive against the B200s from what I understood. Already these ones are already banned in China. I don't know. I still don't know what they are expecting there in terms of favorability regarding other kinds of markets, because a country in terms of imports, exports and trade stuff doesn't rely only on this kind of technologies here. You got a lot of other stuff, and I think in the long term United States might be putting himself in a sinkhole, in the fact that I don't know, around 40 years ago they're starting to export like industrialized manufacturing out of the country. And usually that makes you more dependent on other countries for you to get what you need for your own country. And this is not only, for example, in terms of chips, but overall economies and overall industrialization of the countries themselves. We already saw a lot of issues with some European countries, especially Germany, in terms of manufacturing jobs there. Again, it also related to technology stuff. for example, Siemens, which it's a huge brand, very trustworthy brand, at least since I grew up. It's one of the benchmarks in terms of German industrialization. Yeah, even them are having some issues with all, for example, the appliances and the electronics that are integrated in other things that not necessarily have like the Siemens brand all over the place, but they do a lot of stuff technology-wise, and even them are a little bit on the thing because of all this sanctions game and the banning stuff. Yeah, other countries tend to then play that game because it's a game that can be played on both sides. And yeah, I just hope that they at least regularize and normalize the situation here, so we can see a huger benefit in terms of these kind of things, especially in terms of technology, and mostly in terms of not only regarding this situation, regarding the accelerators, because this is also affecting the consumer market in terms, for example, GPUs. I will assume we'll start seeing that also on CPUs. I think already, no, CPUs not quite yet, but we might see even, for example, RAM stuff. It gets very high in terms of performance in certain specs and all that jazz. We might start seeing more components being added to that restriction export stuff there. But yeah, hopefully not. I don't know how they will do it. Again, I'm not a politician, but the broad trend there is this is leading up to a not very good game of trying to ban exports from one side to the other, and hopefully they can solve this situation. I don't know, for whatever means, but yeah, hopefully again, hopefully this will get resolved. Not very much from this accelerator stuff, because I understand to a certain degree the specificity of this one, but the fact that they are fighting over restrictions on this specific kind of accelerators, it starts, let's say, contaminating other products that the end user like me, you, will not start to benefit that much, because again, restrictions can be played by both sides, and usually in the long term that doesn't bode well for us. Yeah, but yeah, this is what I got in terms of industry that caught my eye. Regarding gaming, I noticed yesterday some rumblings regarding Dead Space 2 remake and such, but yeah, supposedly there were some rumblings that the Dead Space 2 probably remake was in pre-production by the same studio, EA Motive, but it was shelved due to lackluster sales of the Dead Space remake, which is one of the series that I soon enough will be starting doing there. But yeah, similarly, it's not quite exactly that. We got Jason Schreier since clarified that Motive did have a small team working on ideas for a new game, but I think was not necessarily like Dead Space 2 remake. Might be something they were taking to a different branch. So Dead Space remake will be like a soft reboot of the franchise to a certain degree. At least that's the perception that I have. But it never received so it's supposedly it stayed on pre-production, but it was not that game itself. Their idea was not necessarily Dead Space 2 remake. It might be like a Dead Space 2, but a different version altogether from the original trilogy that they had. Maybe they were thinking about taking like new or a different direction or similar direction, but enough with enough differences to be distinguished by itself, like I don't know, for another like what if kind of scenario there. But yeah, mainly because we'll not, at least from this studio, we will not see anything in the upcoming years, because they are supposedly now working on Battlefield franchise, which went to the shit can to a certain degree. I think, again, I don't play this kind of games, Battlefield, Call of Duty, but from what I understand, Battlefield is not in the best hands in terms of general perception. And then we got we got an announced Iron Man game. Again, I'm a little bit tired of this superhero stuff, at least in terms of games, because it's a failure after failure. The only one that caught my eye and I'm very interested to play is Midnight Suns, which but they are not. They are more inspired by comic book characters there, and it's something completely not related to the movie stuff. Even though the ideas might seem interesting, like putting different medias and create like an interconnected universe between games, movie series, and all that jazz, it can stifle a little bit if things are not taken in a very unified vision of intermediate stuff there. And yeah, you got Marvel's Avengers, like that multiplayer game. It's going to be shut down by the end of the year, I think, the servers. But I think you can play offline. I'm not sure. And yeah, the rest got supposedly a Black Panther game that will be coming, but it's full of DEI consulting there. This Iron Man game, I don't know what they're going to do with it. But yeah, EA and Ubisoft are at this moment in time like the big publisher studios there. They are butchering all over the place, a lot of franchises and current IPs, with some saving grace here and there. But yeah, regarding that space, I don't think we will see something new. Again, even though they sold as many units from the original one, I think it was around. Where is it? It said where is it? Didn't sell well enough to recoup 4 millions. There it is. I was looking for a number, not the extended description of the number itself. Okay, around 4 million units, but again, the budget was higher, 60 millions to make this remake, so it is what it is. That's why I've been talking about it's a pet peeve there with the budget stuff, the inflating budgets of games. Again, I really don't understand where this budget goes to. But yeah, there are a lot of the budgets there. I don't know if I think this is just production budget 60 millions, because then you have like the marketing budget that at least on Hollywood side it's sometimes the same as the production budget, so usually it can double from the production. So let's say 100 millions total, and if you're selling around 4 million units, which is a lot of units for a game, people tend to forget that. It's not enough to usually try to cover the budget there. But yeah, hopefully we'll get something in the near future. It will be good, because I think that this Dead Space remake was good enough. Again, it was plagued a little bit with to say the least, with some performance issues regarding the performance there, but the gameplay systems and everything. Again, it's lack of optimization on the part of the publisher, just giving the green light and or mandating the game to go as it is. Maybe sometimes like a month or a couple of months might be enough to fine-tune a lot of stuff if people are working 100% on that. And yeah, we'll be seeing a lot of this from EA especially. We got the same issue, at least with the Jedi Fallen Order. We got a lot of issues, got a lot of vertical stuttering, which is like lack of optimization of how, but I think it's also to a certain degree the engine itself. It's, yeah, some of things on the background with the loading parts of the levels where you are. I think there is an issue there, and it's not been well optimized for both Fallen Order. Jedi Survivor is a little bit better, but I think it has some issues here and there. I noticed some, I don't know if it's called artifacting, but yeah, there seems to be some lack of optimization in terms of rendering the environment. Sometimes if you pan too fast, you get some white polygons from time to time. Yeah, I don't know what that is. And yeah, this Dead Space also has a lot of vertical stuttering, usually on when you open doors and such. Again, there is something there that is not being well optimized on the engine part there. It's not only from the developers on the game itself, but I think the engine itself needs to be worked a little bit more, especially because we're seeing a lot of these situations on kind of more open world or big open areas with this engine. Even though the engine is pretty good, the visual fidelity is excellent. But yeah, I think Jedi Survivor. No, I'm so sorry. I've been talking out of my mouth. The Jedi games are from Unreal Engine. This one is Frostbite engine, Dead Space. But similarly, they have both the same kind of issues regarding loading stuff, which is interesting enough. But yeah, I talk erroneously there. Yeah, even though that space with the Frostbite Studio, I think it can be improved, especially on the vertical centering there. Still, because I've been testing a little bit here for recording, and yeah, on the beginning of the game, when you open the door, you got like some frame times just go down. Yeah, it's noticeable a little bit there, and there is no way of with more or less visual graphics. It's not part of the graphic fidelity. It's part of the CPU load there, I think. Yeah, on the loading part there of the game itself, I think it's something regarding with the CPU usage. It's not very well optimized there. But yeah, continuing, we got what it called, I think, III initiative thing here. Again, I don't know what to tell you here. This side of gaming with this kind of initiatives is not doesn't bode well, at least for me at first glance. But we got some good announcements here. We got Spire 2 is announced, coming in early access in 2025. They basically did the same thing with the first one. They did an early access to get feedback if it is and try to fine tune the mechanics there, and then they launch full release, and it's a pretty good game. Roguelike deck building kind of a thing there. I play the first one from time to time. I try to do a run there. Yeah, it's quite addictive. Sometimes it's just one more try, and yeah, we got a trailer there. Again, it's a very teaser trailer of coming with the early access on 2025. We don't have like a definitive thing, but we got some screenshots here. Yeah, it seems a little bit more enhanced. We got a new class here, which is the Necrobinder. Yeah, even like the store stuff is a little bit different here, but yeah, it seems quite the same in the sense that it's going to be I don't know, the art style is basically the same, which is good for what kind of game it is, but with some visual enhancements here and there, from what I understand. But yeah, and we got supposedly new ways to play, but again, it's still to be announced. Again, they will use early access to get around that and fine-tune those new ways to play. Even though Slay the Spire, the first one, has a lot of things that you can do about it. You can do a run, then you get the ramp up difficulty with the level difficulty. Every time you do a run and a successful run, you can increase. I think you can do plus 20 in terms of difficulty there. Yeah, it can be a pain to go through that. But yeah, it's very addictive. Again, I already wishlist this game, so I can keep my eyes on it. I will leave a Steam page also on the description below, alongside with all the links on the articles that I cover. Yeah, so if you want to go there and wishlist this game, I think it's a good promise of a game here. And then we got here, strangely enough, from the same initiative, III, we got the Rogue Prince of Persia. We got some hands-on previews here. So it's kind of a roguelike kind of a thing, with the side-scrolling kind of a visual style there. It's interesting. I watched the trailer there. Seems interesting enough for me cover this one. This is from the same guys that are at the moment working on Dead Cells. So how do they call themselves? Yeah, the familiar one who play Dead Cells might seem a little bit familiar in terms of the way it flows. Evil Empire. It's the studio that took over the development of the game in 2019 to allow Motion Twin, which is the original developer, or the guys that basically launched the game. They are working on the next project. I think they already been announced. It's not Dead Cells. I think it's something in the same kind of vein there. But yeah, the game seems pretty good. If you like this kind of Dead Cells kind of a thing there. In the art styles, is different enough. It's different enough to be its own thing here. Yeah, I think what Ubisoft did here is, I don't know who thought about it, but it's like one of the fewer saving grace from this kind of EA, Ubisoft kind of a big guys there. I think the Lost Crown, no, yeah, Lost Crown, I think it's the previous one that was launched earlier this year or later that last year, which is also side-scrolling, but it's more turned into Metroidvania kind of a thing there. It's not a roguelike kind of a thing. I think in terms of mechanic-wise, it's pretty good. I think supposedly it's an offshoot of the main storyline series, because I think the guy supposedly it's like a guard, a royal guard or something like that from the supposed Prince of Persia. This one, I don't know the story here, but it's basically seems like Prince of Persia. Got that the character seems like the Prince of Persia from the main line. I don't know. But yeah, hopefully it doesn't have itself full of consultancy in these games that are upcoming. Because on the AAA thing, the festival, they are announcing a lot of stuff. I think I got the, but I will cover that here. Yeah, because we got here some games, they are already out. For example, Darkest Dungeon 2, got this Broken Roads, I don't know, but you got a lot of those games that been a little bit on the highlight by the fact that they are full of consultancy firms, of DI consulting firms like Babysitting and all that stuff. I'm not sure if it is here. I didn't watch this. Got Nacom. I think this is just the publishers there. Don't have any consultancy agencies here, but I'm not sure. Again, an initiative brought to you by, I suppose we might get around here. Maybe not here, but on the complete list, because they are trying to hide themselves now with all the backlash here. We got also Pacific Drive, which is a very good game. I think AAA means like triple indie kind of a thing there. Got Slay the Spire here also. Yeah, but we got which ones that I caught my eye that are on the, if not on the babysitting things, this one, Hyperlight Breaker. I think we got the Hyperlight Drifter was a pretty good one, but I think this is full of consultancy from them. If not babysitting, some of those guys, and also this one, Flintlock Siege of Dawn. I was interesting the first time I saw this game, even though I was doubtful on certain aspects of the game. But from what I understand, this is not even like a very complex game. Supposedly very simple, very short. I don't know what they're trying to do here. There were some rumblings that the main character was not supposed to be this one, was I think at completely different rates and ethnicity or whatever they are. And then after, because this came from previous developers that were working on the game, they completely changed the story and then the motives here. Yeah, it's not good. That's why I'm not trusting too much on this, especially now there are a lot of indie games that coming out with I don't know, I don't trust that much. But still, in the middle of this, you got some pretty good games here on the AAA initiative. But yeah, I'm going for some gaming deals at this moment in time because I don't have any more news. We still have the Outer Worlds, Space's Choice Edition, and Thief for free on the Epic Game Store. At the time of this, of the publishing of this video, maybe, I don't know, 5 hours or something like that you will be able to get to claim these games for free. But yeah, I will leave it on the description below. Got again Slay the Spire, which is one of those games that I really play. I got 150 hours already, so yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, it's an excellent game. I do really recommend if you like roguelike deck building stuff here. It's really well made in terms of how you go about it and all the modes that you have to play with. I think it's a no-brainer here. We got also the BioShock collection. It's still on sale, so 80% off on the collection. I think it goes around 12 to 13 bucks. I already have BioShock here, the Infinite one. But again, it's BioShock Remastered, the first two ones, plus the Minerva Den Remaster, plus... no, this one is not, I think. I don't know if the remaster is already covering that. I don't know. But the BioShock Infinite has the Season Pass there included on sale. We got also the Callisto Protocol. Again, I'm covering this game. It's a little bit better in terms of performance-wise. Again, it might be a disappointment in terms of the story and the mechanics there, because people were expecting a very close Dead Space kind of a feel there, but I don't think it's that. Yeah, 70% off. The last time I think it was 50. Now they lowered to 70% off. Yeah, Again, I will leave you to choose between Digital Deluxe Edition or the base game, even though they are basically at the same price, and I think the Digital Deluxe has all the other stuff there. We got also Wartales, very similar to Jagged Alliance, which is you got a band of mercenaries, then you have to do the hirings and the campfire stuff there to manage the squads and the work and all that stuff. But yeah, and you got more stuff coming in April. It seems to be a very good game in that sense. We got also Pacific Drive. Again, this one is kind of a roguelike, very intricate in terms of the mechanics. You have to do everything manually. For example, when you go to the car, you got to open the door, sit, close the door, put the car on park, turn on the car, put the drive. When you to shut off, you need to put the car on park, pull the brake, the handbrake, then all that jazz. It's very interesting. Very positive reviews all over the place. Small studio, like a handful of guys working on this game, so I think it's well worthwhile. Again, when I have time, for sure I will buy this game. It's a very recent game, but it's already 20% off, which is pretty good. We got also Vampire Survivor, again roguelike, pixel art style bullet hell kind of a thing there. I think it's one of those that I really want to play. It seems very addictive, and they always come up with a lot of different stuff here, and got a lot of DLC, for lack of a better word, a lot of playable content there. Got also XCOM 2. This is War of the Chosen. Again, my recommendation is you buy the War of the Chosen and all the DLC associated with it, so it makes it easier to mod the game. And you got a lot of workshop stuff from Steam for you to mod the game out of it. Again, but I usually recommend playing the first run vanilla mode, and then on the next runs you can start introducing a little bit here and there in terms of the gameplay mods and more classes and all that stuff. But it's good to have a good sense of the basic mechanics of the vanilla game for you to start moving around the world mods, so you can get it's more easier, believe me. And then we got also XCOM within. Again, this is the DLC from the first game, but again, this is like a revamp on the first game. Again, it's still very playable to this day and age, even though the graphic, and in terms of graphic fidelity, might be a little bit outdated, let's say. But it's very playable to this day and age, and it's very cheap, 80% off. I think it's 80% on the Enemy Unknown, so the first game, with all the DLC associated, and got excellent mods for this game. I think it's the Long War mod. It's the most that has bring more changes and increases the length of the gameplay itself. And got also Deus Ex, so Human Revolution DC, so Director's Cut and Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Again, Digital Deluxe Edition is the best way. You got all the DLC, playable DLC, and this tacticals and assault packs and all that jazz, and it's pretty cheap. At this Digital Deluxe Edition, again, you got to bundle info, but yeah, it's very cheap. It's around $6-7, the same price that it usually is on GOG. And on GOG we got the Invincible, 25% off. We got Alan Wake, so this is not the remastered version. The remastered version of the first game, it's only available on an Epic Game Store, unfortunately. But yeah, it's still playable. Again, it's a little older game, but yeah, the story is very interesting, and the themes that they go about there and the darkness and all that's very, 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 very interesting. And then you got Control at its usual price when it goes on discount, $10. Supposedly has connections with this. Again, I already have this one on Steam. Yeah, I already have this one on Steam. Again, when I will start with this, I will do Alan Wake and at least Control. Then we will see about Alan Wake 2, because I've been hearing about certain things. I don't know. I tried not to spoil myself regarding story-wise, but I think that the gameplay and the story seems okay, but I think there are some nitpicks here and there. I need to investigate that further, but at least these two are pretty good, Alan Wake and Control. And yeah, basically this is it for today, guys. This is what I got. I'll wrap up here again with a plug on my Patreon for extra support. This extra support at this moment in time is for me to focus more on storage, for me to be able to get backups of stuff that I do for my clients, and getting also some extra space for the videos that I do for this channel. And yeah, with all that said, hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. So until then, Kunamy Master out.